I just want to get this over with.
Sorry.
Manifest Destiny flip chart movie. Let's start with Lewis and Clark. More than 40 men were in league with a group called the Corps of Discovery. They departed on the 14th of March. Lewis was placed in charge of tactical observations, while Clark was responsible for directing, and he even wrote in a journal. Next is domestic policy. Once the 5th United States President, James Monroe, was inaugurated, he took a long tour throughout the states. This led to a time dubbed the Era of Good Feelings. Many men were sent out to recon the Louisiana Territory, and their expeditions led them to different places and had the help of Native American Sacagawea. In 1820, Monroe dealt with the issue of slavery very early. Having to balance slave and free states, this Missouri Compromise fixed that problem, bringing in states Missouri and Maine. Foreign affairs. President Monroe's first major action was not the compromise, in fact. Firstly, he made a decision to purchase Louisiana and made a much bigger decision later. In 1832, President James Monroe issued the Monroe Doctrine, which ended trade with France and Britain, leaving a damaged economy in its wake. Mexican-American War. 11th President James Polk had believed in the Manifest Destiny, wanting California, New Mexico, and many other pieces of land. Mexico wasn't exactly thrilled. To the U.S. expansionists, Mexico was blocking the way of the Pacific Ocean Railroad, leading them to closer to war. Eventually, Anglo-Americans intruded in Mexico, disintegrating their northern frontier. James Polk began attempts to buy the land, sending American diplomat John Slidell to Mexico City, and initially offered $30 million for the land, only to have the offer immediately rejected by Mexican government. Determined to get the land, Polk sent troops in to initiate a war with Mexico. Soldiers fired upon each other on April 25th, 1846. Polk later defended his actions by stating, "Mexico has invaded our territory and shed American blood on American soil." The decision to attack Mexico and start a war was debatable among Americans. Northerners argued that Polk was trying to gain slave trading land due to his southern origins. Many believed the action was wrong for the excuse to claim land. Despite the questions, one big thing was certain: Americans were winning with sweeping success. Officers such as Grant and Robert E. Lee would have their first big taste of combat, and several other military figures would emerge from this war. Geography. Eastern coastal lowlands, the southern east area of Mexico contained high humidity and heavy rain. General Zach Taylor described the land as invigorating and labeled the winds as trade winds. The central plateaus, where troops entered this area of Mexico, were greeted by starky mountains and rainfall and thunderstorms.
I did that slide wrong. Sorry.
In 1848, the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo was signed, ending the war in America, an American victory. Instead of giving Americans $15 million, Mexico gave up New Mexico and California, which would later result in the states of California, Nevada, Utah, Arizona, New Mexico, Oklahoma, Colorado, and Wyoming. The Eastern Grain Plains were reported as not part of the main first battle front. This area served as a major important role for moving troops, as the land was almost entirely a prairie grass. This gave it the nickname Great American Desert. Louisiana Purchase. In 1803, the president purchased land in between the Mississippi River and Rocky Mountains. Initially rejected, Napoleon later gave up plans for territory in other nations as previous unsuccessful events had begun. France decided to sell the territory for a final price of $50 million. Thank you.